Here's the truth. Your skin barrier is the only thing standing between glowy, calm skin and that angry, flaky mess that happens when you've been overzealous with the actives. I'm Sarah Ling-Miller, and today we're breaking down exactly what you need, how much it costs, and how long each step takes, because when you're trying to look human at 5:45 a.m. before a client meeting, you need a system that actually works, not a 12-step fantasy. You're listening to Luxury Beauty on a Budget podcast. Quick note before we dive in. Everything you're about to hear is 100% human researched, human verified, and human written. All I'm doing is using AI to generate the voice you're hearing, because hiring a voiceover artist for every episode 3 times a week just isn't realistic at this scale. Now, if you're a regular around here, thank you for showing up again. It genuinely matters. And if you're new, welcome to the show. We drop new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, covering everything from ingredient deep dives to product breakdowns to routines that actually fit into real life. All right, let's get into it. I rebuilt my entire routine after my second pregnancy left me with compromised skin and zero patience for complicated routines. This approach focuses on protecting and repairing your moisture barrier first, then adding actives strategically. We're talking ceramides, cholesterol, fatty acids, and niacinamide, the unsexy workhorses that actually fix skin. Let's be real, barrier repair isn't glamorous, but it's the foundation everything else depends on. If you're dealing with sensitivity, redness, or that tight feeling after washing your face, this is where you start. Now, let's talk about understanding your barrier-first foundation. Before you buy anything, you need to know what you're actually protecting. Your skin barrier, also called the stratum corneum, is a lipid matrix made up of ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids in roughly a 3:1:1 ratio. That's not marketing fluff, that's cellular biology. When this barrier is compromised, you lose water faster, irritants get in easier, and every product you apply stings like hell. Key markers of barrier damage include transepidermal water loss, or TEWL, above 15 grams per square meter per hour. You'll notice this as persistent dryness no moisturizer seems to fix. Your pH level rises above 5.5 when healthy skin sits around 4.7 to 5.5. When your barrier is shot, pH rises and bacteria thrive. You'll see visible flaking, redness, or sensitivity to products that never bothered you before. And that tight, squeaky clean feeling after washing, that's not clean, that's stripped. The barrier-first approach means you repair this foundation before layering on retinol, AHAs, or vitamin C. I learned this the hard way after a particularly aggressive product binge left my face looking like I'd been slapped. 3 weeks of pure barrier repair brought everything back, but I wasted time and money getting there. Moving on to your essential barrier repair products checklist. This is your non-negotiable. Every product here serves a specific barrier function, and I've included the active percentages and cost per use, because that's what actually matters when you're deciding what to buy. First up, a pH-balanced gentle cleanser. You need a cleanser with a pH between 4.5 and 5.5 that won't strip your skin. Most drugstore cleansers sit around pH 7 to 9, which is basically soap. No wonder your face feels tight afterward. Look for cleansers with added ceramides or glycerin at 3 to 5%. Vanacream Gentle Facial Cleanser hits pH 5.5, costs around $9 for 8 ounces, which works out to about 6 cents per use for 60 uses, and contains no sulfates. CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser adds ceramides 1, 3, and 6, 2, plus hyaluronic acid. It's around $14 for 12 ounces, about 8 cents per use, and manufactured by L'Oreal in the US, using the same technology as La Roche-Posay. Check the link below to see the current price. Time investment? 45 seconds, morning and night. The only downside with CeraVe is the pump mechanism. It dispenses way too much product if you're not careful, which means you're wasting money with every overpump. Next, your barrier repair serum with that 3:1:1 lipid ratio. This is where the magic happens. You want a serum that mimics your skin's natural lipid composition, ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids in that 3:1:1 ratio. Stratia Liquid Gold contains ceramides 1 and 3, sea buckthorn oil, and niacinamide at 4%. It's around $27 for 1 ounce, about 45 cents per use for 60 uses, and absorbs in about 30 seconds. For comparison, Dr. Jart plus ceramide in serum costs around $48 for 1.35 ounces, 71 cents per use, with similar ingredient profiles. You're paying extra for packaging. Purito Dermide Cica Barrier Sleeping Pack offers ceramides plus Centella asiatica at around $19 for 2.7 ounces, which is 24 cents per use. Check the link below to see the current price. Application time, 30 to 45 seconds after cleansing. One annoying thing with Stratia, the dropper doesn't always pick up products smoothly when you're down to the last quarter of the bottle. Your niacinamide treatment should be at 4 to 5% concentration. Niacinamide strengthens barrier function by increasing ceramide synthesis and reducing TEWL by up to 24% in clinical studies. The sweet spot is 4 to 5% concentration. Anything above 10% can cause irritation without additional benefit. The ordinary niacinamide 10% plus zinc 1% is around $6 for 1 ounce, but I'm going to be honest, the 10% concentration pills for some people, and the texture is sticky. Better option, Good Molecules niacinamide serum at 4% for around $6 for 1 ounce, 10 cents per use, which layers beautifully and doesn't leave that tacky feeling. Paula's Choice 10% niacinamide booster costs around $52 for 0.68 ounces, $1.53 per use. Same active, 5 times the price. Check the link below to see the current price. Time commitment, 20 seconds, once daily. Now, your ceramide-rich moisturizer. Your moisturizer needs to seal everything in with at least 3 ceramide types plus cholesterol and fatty acids. CeraVe Moisturizing Cream, the tub, not the lotion, contains ceramides 1, 3, and 6,2, phytosphingosane, cholesterol, and fatty acids for around $19 for 16 ounces. That's 8 cents per use for 240 uses. That's the same lipid complex as SkinCeuticals Triple Lipid Restore 2 to 4 to 2, which costs around $136 for 1.6 ounces, $1.70 per use. Both are manufactured with similar emulsion technology. You're paying for the SkinCeuticals brand name and fancier jar. Iliune Ceramide A-Top Cream from Korea offers 5 types of ceramides for around $18 for 5.29 ounces, 20 cents per use. Check the link below to see the current price. Application time, 60 seconds, twice daily. The CeraVe tub is great, except when you're traveling. That giant jar is not TSA friendly, and scooping product with your fingers can introduce bacteria if you're not careful. Your barrier protecting SPF should be mineral, preferably. Chemical sunscreens can be irritating when your barrier is compromised. Stick with mineral formulas, using zinc oxide 15 to 20%. Elta MD UV Clear Broad Spectrum SPF 46 contains 9% zinc oxide plus niacinamide at 5% for around $39 for 1.7 ounces, 26 cents per use for 150 uses. It's formulated at pH 5.5 and manufactured in the U.S. Australian Gold Botanical SPF 50 Tinted Face offers 4% titanium dioxide and 4% zinc oxide for around $14 for 3 ounces, 9 cents per use. Same mineral protection, less elegant finish, but perfectly functional. Check the link below to see the current price. Morning application, 90 seconds, including the 15-minute wait time before makeup. The Australian Gold formula can leave a slight white cast on deeper skin tones, which is frustrating if you're trying to skip foundation. Finally, your occlusive night treatment. At night, you need an occlusive layer to lock in all those barrier repair ingredients. Pure petrolatum, Vaseline, reduces TEWL by 98% and costs around $3 for 7.5 ounces, 2 cents per use for 150 uses. If the greasy feel bothers you, try La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm B5 with 5% panthenol and madecassoside for around $15 for 1.35 ounces, 20 cents per use, less occlusive than straight petrolatum, but more elegant. CeraVe Healing Ointment combines petrolatum with ceramides and hyaluronic acid for around $8 for 3 ounces, 5 cents per use. Check the link below to see the current price. Application time, 30 seconds, last step before bed. Vaseline is cheap and effective, but God help you if you sleep on your side. Your pillowcase will need washing daily, which is annoying when you're already doing 3 loads of laundry a week. Let's get into your daily barrier first routine sequence. Layering order matters more than most people think. Thinnest to thickest consistency, always, but also respecting pH requirements and wait times. This section breaks down exactly when to apply each product and how long each step takes, because when you're trying to get out the door by 7 a.m., every minute counts. Here is your morning routine, which takes 6 to 8 minutes total. Step 1. Cleanse for 45 seconds. Use your pH balance cleanser with lukewarm water, not hot, which further damages the barrier. Pat dry with a clean towel. I keep a separate face towel that gets washed every 3 days because bacteria. Step 2. Niacinamide serum. 20 seconds application with no wait time. Apply 2 to 3 drops to damp skin. Niacinamide doesn't require a wait time and actually penetrates better on slightly damp skin. The Good Molecules version absorbs in about 15 seconds, so you can immediately move to the next step. Step 3. Barrier Repair Serum. 30 seconds application plus 30 seconds absorption. Use 3 to 4 drops of your ceramide-rich serum. I use Stratia Liquid Gold. Press it in. Don't rub aggressively. Give it 30 seconds to absorb while you brush your teeth or start coffee. Step 4. Moisturizer. 45 seconds. Pea-sized amount of CeraVe cream, warmed between your palms and pressed in. I know the tub feels clinical and unsexy, but it works. If you're feeling fancy before a big meeting, you can add a drop of facial oil here for extra glow, but that's optional. Step 5. SPF. 60 seconds application plus 15 minutes wait time. This is non-negotiable. 1/4 teaspoon for face and neck. Use the actual measuring spoon if you're not sure, because most people under-apply by half. The 15-minute wait before makeup is painful when you're running late, so I apply SPF, then pack lunches or answer emails before makeup. Total active time, 3 minutes 30 seconds. Total elapsed time, 6 to 8 minutes. Now for your evening routine, which takes 5 to 7 minutes total. Step 1. Cleanse for 45 seconds. Same pH balance cleanser. If you wore makeup, double cleanse with an oil cleanser first. Add 60 seconds, totally worth it for thorough removal without stripping. Step 2. Barrier Repair Serum. 30 seconds application plus 30 seconds absorption. Same ceramide serum as morning. Your skin repairs itself overnight, so this is when barrier ingredients do their best work. Step 3. Moisturizer. 45 seconds. Same CeraVe cream. Slightly heavier layer than morning. This is the time to be generous. Step 4. Occlusive. 30 seconds. Thin layer of your chosen occlusive over any dry patches or your entire face if your barrier is severely compromised. I focus on my cheeks, which always dry out first, and skip my T-zone. When my barrier was completely wrecked post-pregnancy, I did the full face slug method every night for 2 weeks. It looked ridiculous, but worked. Total active time, 2 minutes 30 seconds. Total elapsed time, 5 to 7 minutes. This routine is intentionally active-free during the initial barrier repair phase, which typically takes 2 to 4 weeks depending on damage severity. Once your barrier is stable, no tightness, no stinging with products, no visible flaking, you can strategically reintroduce actives, but the foundation stays the same. Let's look at advanced barrier support ingredients to consider. Once your basic barrier-first routine is locked in and your skin is stable, these optional additions can enhance results. None of these are essential, but if you're dealing with specific issues or want to optimize further, here's what to consider. Cholesterol at 0.5 to 2%. Your barrier needs cholesterol just as much as ceramides, but most products skimp on it because it's expensive to formulate with. Look for products listing cholesterol in the first 10 ingredients. The ordinary natural moisturizing factors plus HA includes cholesterol at approximately 1% for around $7 for 1 ounce, 12 cents per use. SkinCeuticals Triple Lipid Restore 242 contains 2% cholesterol, 4% niacinamide, and 2% ceramides. It's around $136 for 1.6 ounces, but formulated at the research-backed ratios. Check the link below to see the current price. Application: mix a pump with your regular moisturizer if the texture alone is too rich. Takes an extra 15 seconds, but can reduce barrier recovery time by about 30% in my experience. Panthenol, or provitamin B5, at 3 to 5%. Panthenol penetrates skin and converts to pantothenic acid, which improves hydration and reduces TEWL by up to 16%. La Roche-Posay Cicaplast contains 5% panthenol plus copper, zinc, manganese complex for around $15 for 1.35 ounces, 20 cents per use. Pure panthenol gel at 50% concentration costs around $12 for 4 ounces and can be mixed into your moisturizer at 1 to 2 drops per application for a DIY boost. Check the link below to see the current price. Bonus: panthenol is one of the few actives that actually improves absorption of other ingredients. The downside is it can feel slightly tacky until fully absorbed, annoying if you're rushing. Centella asiatica, also called metacasoside or asiaticide. These compounds from centella, also known as cica or tiger grass, improve barrier function and reduce inflammation. Look for formulations with metacasoside at 0.5 to 1% or asiaticide extract at 5 to 10%. Purito Centella asiatica extract at 49% for around $14 for 2 ounces, 23 cents per use. Comparable to Dr. Jart Plus Cica Pear Serum at around $49 for 1 ounce, 98 cents per use. Both Korean manufactured, similar extraction processes. Check the link below to see the current price. Application time: 30 seconds as your first serum step. Works especially well on irritated or inflamed skin. Colloidal oatmeal at 1 to 5%. FDA approved for skin protection, colloidal oatmeal contains beta-glucans and avanthramides that strengthen the barrier and reduce itching. CeraVe Itch Relief Moisturizing Lotion contains 1% colloidal oatmeal plus ceramides for around $11 for 8 ounces, 9 cents per use for 120 uses. Aveeno Eczema Therapy Moisturizing Cream uses 1% colloidal oatmeal with ceramides for around $13 for 7.3 ounces, 12 cents per use. Check the link below to see the current price. Best for severely compromised barriers, eczema-prone skin, or post-procedure recovery. The texture is heavier than typical lotions, which can feel suffocating in humid climates. Squalene, plant-derived. Squalene is a lipid naturally found in your skin that depletes with age and barrier damage. Plant-derived squalene from sugarcane or olives is more sustainable than shark-derived versions, which are still on the market, unfortunately. The ordinary 100% plant-derived squalene costs around $8 for 1 ounce, 13 cents per use at 2 drops per application. It's biomimetic, so your skin recognizes and utilizes it easily. Check the link below to see the current price. Mix 2 to 3 drops into your night moisturizer or apply alone to damp skin. Adds 20 seconds to your routine and gives that plump, glowy look without grease. One frustration: the dropper dispenses too much if you're not careful, and wasted squalene is wasted money. The key with all these additions is gradual introduction, 1 new ingredient every 2 weeks, so you can identify what's actually helping versus what's just extra steps. When I added everything at once after reading too many Reddit threads at midnight, I couldn't tell what was working and what was breaking me out. Now let's talk about what not to do during barrier repair. These aren't suggestions, these are hard rules if you want your barrier to actually heal. Skip all actives for 2 to 4 weeks. No retinol, no AHAs, no BHAs, no vitamin C, no benzoyl peroxide. I know that sounds dramatic, but compromised barriers cannot tolerate exfoliating or irritating actives. Retinol increases cell turnover, which sounds great until you realize your barrier needs time to actually build up cells, not slough them off faster. Same with chemical exfoliants. They break down the bonds between cell sites, which is exactly what your barrier doesn't need right now. This means you'll have to pause that $70 retinol serum temporarily. But trust me, using it on damaged skin just extends your recovery time. You're not missing out, you're being strategic. Don't over-cleanse. One cleanse in the morning, or just rinse with water if you're not oily, and one at night. That's it. Double cleansing only if you wore makeup or SPF. Otherwise, you're stripping protective oils your barrier needs. I used to cleanse morning, post-gym, and night like some kind of cleanliness martyr. My skin was perpetually tight and angry. Cutting back to twice daily made a visible difference within 3 days. Avoid hot water and long showers. Water temperature above 95 degrees Fahrenheit disrupts lipid organization in your barrier. Keep it lukewarm, honestly feels cold at first, and limit face washing to under 60 seconds. Those 20-minute hot showers feel amazing, but they're dehydrating your skin. I time mine now because I have zero self-control otherwise. Set your phone alarm for 8 minutes and get out when it goes off. No physical exfoliation. Scrubs, brushes, washcloths, exfoliating gloves, put them all away. Physical exfoliation creates micro tears that worsen barrier damage and increase infection risk. I know the Clarisonic feels clean and high-tech, but it's sandpaper on compromised skin. Even gentle konjac sponges are too much right now. Cleanse with your hands only. Stop switching products constantly. Barrier repair requires consistency over 2 to 4 weeks minimum. If you're switching products every few days because you're not seeing instant results, you're resetting your progress. Stick with the same routine for at least 2 weeks before evaluating. I learned this after wasting $200 on products I tried for 3 days each, got impatient with, and replaced. Skincare is not instant gratification. If that bothers you, this is going to be a frustrating journey. Don't layer 10 products. More is not better when your barrier is compromised. Stick to the essentials: cleanser, ceramide serum, moisturizer, SPF. That's 4 products during the day, 3 at night. Every additional layer is another chance for irritation. Those 10-step Korean routines are fantastic once your skin can tolerate them, but right now you need simplicity. Cut out the essences, the ampules, the sleeping masks, just the basics. Moving on to monitoring your barrier recovery progress. You need objective markers to know if your barrier is actually healing versus just feeling better. I track these weekly because subjective feelings aren't reliable when you're sleep-deprived and surviving on coffee. Visual assessment weekly. Take a clear, well-lit photo every Sunday morning before applying any products. Same lighting, same angle. Look for reduced redness, especially around nose, cheeks, and jawline. Less visible flaking even in dry areas that usually peel. Smoother texture when you run your clean fingers across your skin. More even tone as inflammation subsides. Keep these photos in a dedicated album because memory lies. You'll swear nothing is changing until you compare week 1 to week 4 and see dramatic differences. Physical sensation markers. Track these daily in your Notes app. Takes 30 seconds. Tightness level after cleansing on a 0 to 10 scale, where 10 is painfully tight. Stinging with products, yes or no for each product. Dryness patches, how many, what size. Makeup application, does foundation pill or apply smoothly? When your tightness drops below 3 consistently for a week and products no longer sting, your barrier is approaching stability. Product tolerance test every 2 weeks. Apply a small amount of a previously irritating product, like a gentle vitamin C serum or low percentage retinol, to your inner forearm. Wait 24 hours. If there's no redness, itching, or irritation, your barrier might be ready for careful, active reintroduction on your face. If it reacts, give it another 2 weeks before testing again. Don't skip this step and go straight to your face. I did that with a 0.5% retinol and spent a week looking sunburned. Expected timeline. Days 1 to 3, you might feel worse before better as you stop compensating with overly harsh products. Stick with it. Days 4 to 7, tightness should decrease noticeably. Flaking may temporarily increase as damaged cells shed. Days 8 to 14, smoother texture, less sensitivity. Products stop stinging. Days 15 to 28, barrier should be stable. Redness significantly reduced. Hydration retained better. Overall resilience improved. If you're not seeing improvement by week 3, you're either still using an irritating ingredient or you have an underlying condition like rosacea or seborrheic dermatitis that needs medical treatment. Don't waste more time, see a dermatologist. Let's talk about reintroducing actives after barrier repair. Once your barrier is stable, products don't sting, no tightness, no flaking, you can strategically add actives back. Emphasis on strategically, not all at once, not daily, and not at maximum concentrations. Here's the reintroduction order from safest to strongest. Week 1 to 2, azelaic acid 10%. Start with azelaic acid because it's the most barrier-friendly active. The ordinary azelaic acid suspension 10% costs around $9 for 1 ounce and can be used daily without irritation for most people. Check the link below to see the current price. Apply after your serum, before moisturizer. If you tolerate this for 2 weeks with 0 irritation, move to the next level. Week 3 to 4, niacinamide increase. If you are using 4%, try 5 to 10% concentration. If you're already at 10%, move to the next active instead. Weeks 5 to 6, retinol 0.25% or retinaldehyde 0.05%. Start with the lowest concentration, twice weekly, Sunday and Wednesday nights. Apply after moisturizer initially to buffer irritation. The ordinary retinol 0.2% in squalene costs around $8 for 1 ounce. That's your entry point. Check the link below to see the current price. Work up to 3 times weekly over a month before increasing concentration. Week 7 to 8. AHA or BHA at low concentration. Start with 5% lactic acid or 0.5% salicylic acid. Once weekly. The ordinary lactic acid 5% plus HA costs around $7 for 1 ounce. Check the link below to see the current price. Sunday nights only. Wait 4 weeks before increasing frequency or concentration. Week 9 to 10. Vitamin C. L-ascorbic acid 10% or MAP 10%. Only if everything else is tolerated well. Start with every other day, morning application. Timeless 20% vitamin C plus E-ferulic acid costs around $26 for 1 ounce, but start with their 10% version first if you can find it, or use the ordinary ascorbyl glucoside solution 12% at around $12 for 1 ounce as a gentler alternative. Check the link below to see the current price. Rules for safe active reintroduction. Only add 1 active at a time with 2 weeks between each addition. I cannot stress this enough. If you add retinol and vitamin C simultaneously and your skin freaks out, you won't know which one caused it. Start with the lowest concentration and frequency, twice weekly max for the first month. Your ego might want to jump to daily 1% retinol, but your skin will pay the price. Maintain your barrier repair base routine. The ceramide serum, moisturizer, and SPF stay constant. Actives are additions, not replacements. Back off immediately if you see any barrier compromise signs, tightness, stinging, redness, or flaking. Drop back to your basic routine for a week before trying again at lower concentration or frequency. Never use multiple strong actives on the same day until you've been tolerating them individually for months. Retinol plus AHA is a recipe for disaster on newly repaired barriers. The goal isn't to use every active possible, it's to use what your skin actually needs and can tolerate. After my barrier repair, I settled on azelaic acid daily and retinol twice weekly. That's it. 3 actives less than my old routine, better results, 0 irritation. Sometimes less really is more. Here's your final check before you go. Screenshot this or print it out and stick it on your bathroom mirror. That's what I did when I was rebuilding my routine and couldn't remember what went where at 6 a.m. Daily morning routine, 6 to 8 minutes. pH balance cleanser at 4.5 to 5.5. Niacinamide serum at 4 to 5%. Ceramide barrier repair serum in that 3 to 1:1 ratio. Ceramide rich moisturizer, mineral SPF with zinc oxide 15 to 20%. Daily evening routine, 5 to 7 minutes. pH Balance Cleanser, Double Cleanse if makeup worn, Ceramide Barrier Repair Serum, Ceramide-rich moisturizer in a generous layer, occlusive treatment on problem areas or full face. What to avoid during initial repair for 2 to 4 weeks. No retinol, AHAs, BHAs, vitamin C, or benzoyl peroxide. No physical exfoliation like scrubs, brushes, or washcloths. No hot water on face. No over-cleansing, max twice daily. No product switching mid-routine. Weekly progress checks. Take comparison photo in the same lighting. Track tightness level on a 0 to 10 scale. Note any stinging with products. Document dry patches or flaking. Test makeup application smoothness. Active reintroduction readiness after 2 to 4 weeks. No tightness after cleansing. No stinging with barrier products. No visible flaking. Patch test tolerated on inner forearm. Consistent improvement for 7 or more days. Budget tracking for cost per complete routine. Morning routine per day is roughly 54 cents, though it adds up to around 78 cents when you include all products. Evening routine per day is around 61 to 72 cents. Monthly routine cost, about $40. Compare that to the luxury equivalent using SkinCeuticals and La Mer, which would run around $280 monthly for the same functional results. You're saving around $240 per month with zero performance sacrifice. That's roughly $2,880 annually that could go toward actually important things like childcare or retirement savings. Let's hit some frequently asked questions. How long does it take to repair a damaged skin barrier? A damaged skin barrier typically takes 2 to 4 weeks to repair if you follow a strict barrier-first routine with ceramides, cholesterol, fatty acids, and niacinamide, while avoiding all actives and irritants. Severe barrier damage from overuse of retinoids or chemical peels may take up to 8 weeks. You'll notice improvement within the first week, with reduced tightness and sensitivity, but full barrier restoration requires consistent use of the complete routine without interruption. Can I use retinol while repairing my skin barrier? No, you should not use retinol or any exfoliating actives while repairing a damaged skin barrier, as retinol increases cell turnover and can further compromise barrier function by disrupting lipid organization in the stratum corneum. Wait until your barrier shows no signs of sensitivity, tightness, or flaking for at least 1 week before reintroducing retinol at the lowest concentration, 0.2 to 0.25%, once or twice weekly, gradually increasing frequency over several months as tolerance builds. What's the difference between barrier repair and regular moisturizing? Barrier repair specifically restores the lipid matrix of your stratum corneum using ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids in a 3:1:1 ratio that mimics your skin's natural barrier composition, while regular moisturizers only add humectants like glycerin or hyaluronic acid that attract water without repairing the underlying lipid structure. Products designed for barrier repair contain multiple ceramide types, typically 1, 3, and 6,2 minimum, cholesterol, and essential fatty acids, whereas regular moisturizers may only include generic emollients and humectants without the targeted lipid restoration your compromised barrier needs to actually heal.
Final thoughts. The barrier-first approach isn't sexy. It's not what Instagram highlights, and you won't see results overnight, but it's the foundation that makes everything else work. I spent years chasing the next miracle active, burning through products and money until I finally accepted that a healthy barrier is non-negotiable. Repair it first, maintain it religiously, then build strategically. Your skin will thank you, your wallet will thank you, and you'll stop wasting time on routines that don't work because the foundation was broken.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Luxury Beauty on a Budget podcast. New episodes drop every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you'll never be stuck waiting long for the next one. If you found this episode helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd leave a 5-star rating and write a quick review. It's genuinely the best way to help other people find the show who might be searching for exactly this kind of no-nonsense skincare info. And hit subscribe or follow so you get notified the second a new episode goes live. See you next time.